Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to the Stephenville Arts and Culture Center this evening for the Madison Edna Benoit Family Show. My name is Diane Doyle, and it's a real pleasure for me to be your MC for the evening, as I'm a true lover of music, and I know it's going to be a great night to see so many talented people up here on one stage tonight. Throughout the show this evening, you'll see different members of the family featured, such as sons, daughters, and grandchildren. But of course, the hub and start of this accomplished group of musicians is the parents, Mattis and Edna Benoit. Edna and Mattis are originally from Black Duck Brook. Edna, also known to many, and probably lots of you here in the audience tonight, as Mama, is the daughter of the late Florence LaPrere, best known to many people as Grammy. Grammy is popular for her chin music, accordion playing, and storytelling. Edna has played guitar for most of her life. Mattis Benoit, also known to many as Papa, is very well known for his accordion playing, but also plays guitar and fiddle. Mattis and Edna are going to start us off tonight with a reel called Mountaintop Reel, followed by Joe Allard, where we'll have the rest of the family join in as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to please welcome, and I hope you join me in welcoming the Mattis, Edna, and the entire Benoit family who are with us tonight. Woo! get you going on to what would. Honorable, what a good way to start the night. Well, as many of you here tonight likely know, the music of some members of the Benoit family has been seen far and wide through other groups that they've been involved with. Of course, as the children grew up and began to move away from home, they also took their music and their Newfoundland traditions along with them in many cases. Robert Benoit is the oldest child of Mattis and Edna, and he's also a former member. What's that? He's shy too, huh?
He's the cutest.
The cutest.
You wish.
Now that's what we got to contend with tonight. The cutest one of them all. Anyway, Robert, like I said, is definitely the oldest, anyway.
Yes.
But he's also a former member of the well-known Carleton Show Band. Robert lives in Ontario. He lives in Ontario with his wife, Barb, and he has 3 children. He's very happy to continue the tradition he was brought up in by teaching music. Robert plays a number of instruments, including the fiddle, guitar, bass, and accordion, and he's now going to show us some of that fine talent with a guitar number called Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Benoit. Family member that we're going to hear from tonight is the very talented Laris Benoit. And Laris is also a former member of the Carleton Show Band. And I can tell you this, that band was certainly one of the most respected and recognized bands in all of Canada, as far as I'm concerned. And you know, I heard from a couple of guys today, I went in and I was Googling and looking up a little bit of information on the Carleton Show Band and stuff, only to find out that these guys are getting back together for a reunion cruise. Whoa. Cruise now. Pretty cool, yeah. Not the first one, though.
No, not the first one.
Oh my gosh.
The second.
You can't beat that. So I'm sure there's no doubt, certainly a great experience for Laris as well, being a part of the Carleton Show Band, and I know that he brought a lot of talent to the group as well. Laris currently lives in Mississauga with his wife Denise and 2 children, and he continues to play music with the band in Ontario also. He plays bass and sings and also dances, I hear, when the mood settles in and stuff. We might get a few steps on you at night, I'd say. You think?
Well, it depends who buys me beer.
Great time, guys, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, Laris Benoit with a nice catchy number called Guitars Cadillacs.
faith is gone, you're always there for me. But thank you, girl, for teaching me brand new ways to be true. And if I find myself now, I just leave. Now it's guitars get like some really music. Long, lonely streets and I call home. And my guitars get like some really music. All the things that keeps me hanging on. Some more guitar.
Thank you.
Great job, Laris. And you know, Laris was saying, I think he's kind of hoping somebody will buy him a beer at break time. But you know, talking about that, one of the crowd here, I was here this afternoon. I got to spend 3.5 hours with these people, and it was wonderful, I got to say. I only knew a couple when I came in the afternoon, and by the time I left, I felt like it was kind of one of the family here, you know? I was hoping they were going to ask me to get up and do a jig or something, but nobody even freaking asked. But anyway, somebody was telling me there about Lara, saying, I mean, I think he likes a beer every now and then, probably, anyway. But him and his wife, Denise, they were home one night up in Mississauga, just sitting out in their backyard one evening, and having a drink or two, or a beer, or whatever it might have been, you know, and right out of the blue, Lara said, I love you. Well, Denise was kind of taken off guard there, you know, she wasn't sure what to think, because he's not exactly the real mushy type or whatever. And she looked at him and she said, Laris, now come on now, really, tell me the truth. Is that you or the beer talking? Laris said, it's me talking to the beer. What a dog, eh? Her case you are, Laris, her case. The youngest child of Madison Edna is Doug, often known to many, I think, as Dougie Benoit. And he lives in Port-au-Port with his wife, Kim. They have 4 children, and we have one son, Devin, joining them tonight. Is Devin on stage yet? Yes. This guy up on the drums back here. And their youngest child, Jacob, may even dance for us, maybe, possibly, tonight. We know he dances, so you never know. I'm hoping that that's what I'm going to see here tonight. Doug is certainly multi-talented, as many of this family are. He plays fiddle, guitar, banjo, mandolin, and drums, pretty much whatever he can get his hands on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Doug Benoit with a fiddle tune called Coors Jig. Feel free to clap along. Have a grand old time tonight. his family is really keeping traditional music going. This is something else, guys. Wonderful. Now, Madison and Edna have 8 children altogether, and there's just a huge amount of talent between all of them, there's no doubt. They have a daughter, Dale White, and she lives in Colebrook with her husband, Jarvis. Dale has played guitar, but she's in the audience as a spectator tonight. Where are you, Dale? Come on, give us a big wave for where are you? See, that's a good place to be, too, I know that. It's a fantastic show going on, so I think you've got a good view out there, too, Dale.
Going upstairs,
Also with us tonight is Madison and Edna's son, Roddy Benoit. Roddy lives in Stephenville with his wife, Marilyn, and although he doesn't play an instrument, he has a huge appreciation and definitely a great understanding of music. Roddy is up here on the stage tonight as well, next to his dad. A lot of people just don't have the appreciation and understanding of music. I think that people like Roddy would have, being in a family of such great talent musicians. No doubt living in the Benoit home and having so many occasions which are celebrated by music is just a wonderful thing. So I have no doubt, Roddy, you're soaking up every bit of this tonight, like feeling like you're in a kitchen party, I'd say, at your mom and dad's, eh? Next we have Richard Benoit, who is the 3rd oldest child of Madison Edna. Am I right in saying that he's the 3rd oldest? Yes. Richard lives in West Bay with his wife Rita. They have one son who's living away right now, but he's also a musician who plays the bass. So Richard's talent is obviously continuing on to the next generation as well. Richard himself is an accomplished musician who plays drums, guitar, and also has a really nice voice, and we're going to hear from him now. Please welcome Richard Benoit with a little something called Once More. Richard Benoit.
Once more to be with you, just for tonight, to hold me tight. Once more
Great job. Well, I just wanted to mention as well that this afternoon I found out as well the Benoit family is funny because you hear of them. I mean, I've lived in Bay St. George all my life and have certainly heard of them and heard different ones perform at different times, I guess. Perhaps you'd see Dougie play with somebody and then you'd see another couple together or whatever. But this is actually the first time that this group of people from this family have played together on a stage. So it's really, really amazing to think. They should have done it a long time ago, wouldn't you think so?
Too shy.
Too shy, too shy.
Not enough beer.
A whole shy lot. Anyway, Bonnie Lou Flynn is the youngest daughter of Madison Edna. Bonnie Lou. Right, the youngest. I believe you and I are about the same age, too. Aren't we?
We won't say.
20 or 21 or something like that.
Bonnie Lou lives in West Bay with her husband, Randy, and they have one daughter, Brandy, and she's on stage tonight as well. Hi, Brandy, why don't you stand up for us? Give us a little bit. I think we're going to see Brandy dancing around a bit tonight, clapping her hands, having a good time, aren't we, Brandy? No doubt about it. And I heard Brandy's a really good singer. I don't think they could talk her into singing tonight, but maybe the next time around. Hey, Brandy? What do you think? Anyway, like I said, we're really hoping that we'll see her having a bit of fun tonight, up dancing around a bit anyway. Now, Bonnie Lou herself, she plays the guitar, she also sings, and I'd say there's lots of people who don't know this about Bonnie, but she's also a bit of an actor. Isn't that true? When we were about 13 years old, Bonnie and I were in a theater group here, local theater group at this Arts and Culture Centre called Children's Theater Workshop. And I can tell you we had some times here, didn't we? We ran this place when Laura Lush wasn't here. But she went home to lunch like all the time.
So we had to sew our own costumes.
That's right. Anyway, so Bonnie's been on stage certainly for a long, long time, but you probably didn't realize she was actually an actress too. Anyway, she won't be acting for you tonight, but we're very happy to have her play guitar and sing for us throughout the night. Right now she's going to sing, ladies and gentlemen, Bonnie Lou Flynn with an old Trooper number that was later redone by Terry Clark, I believe, eh? A little something called Here for a Good Time. Bonnie. Just remind me of one time I was out for a walk this evening and walking down one street here in town, and I went by this house, and there was a little veranda on the front, and there was this old fella sitting in a rocking chair out on the veranda. And he just looked so happy and peaceful there. He looked like somebody who's really had a good time in his life, and he's just sitting back and enjoying himself now. So I couldn't go on by without actually stopping and going over and speaking to him. So I went over, and I said, excuse me, sir, but I had to speak to you for a minute, I said, if you don't mind. I said, I was out for a walk, enjoying myself this evening, but I said, I saw you here in your rocking chair, and you just looked so happy and peaceful and really, you know, look like you're enjoying life or whatever. I said, please, would you tell me, what is your secret for such a long and happy life? So he stopped for a minute and he thought about it, and he said, well, he said, it's like this. He said, you know, I smokes 3 packs of cigarettes a day, and he said, I eats all kinds of fatty foods, Sarah. And he says, I drinks a bottle of whiskey a day. I was like, merciful, honorable me trying to go lose a few pounds, getting a little wop. I said, how in the world, I mean, are you managing that anyway? I said, my gosh, you look so good. How old are you anyway? 26, he said. Now, see, we want to go and have a good time and all that, but maybe not quite that good a time. Time to go having a good time, too. I think we got a couple of birthdays in the house tonight. I think these guys are here tonight. Alphonse and Billy Joe Hines. Are they here tonight? Alphonsus and Billy Joe, are you here? Celebrating an 80th birthday. Happy birthday, guys. Happy birthday. May you have many, many more years of happiness. It's so wonderful to see you out. Are you enjoying the show? I know, God love it. You'll probably be out in the aisle there in a minute dancing up. It's too nice. Anyway, it's great to have you here, and happy birthday to both of you. Now, after having their first... Oh, that's good. Sorry, I talked all the way through. 1, 2, 3, go.
Give her that.
Yeah?
Good all night, my dear.
Now, after having their firstborn child, a son, Madison Edna then had a baby girl. Their oldest daughter is Joanne Blanchard, and you'll see Joanne over here on guitar throughout the night. Give us a wave, Joanne. And a pretty red top. Joanne is definitely one of the fortunate ones to be able to still live around this area. She lives in Colebrook with her husband, Danny Blanchard, and has 2 children. Joanne is quite musical, as you can see her playing guitar tonight, and I hear she sings some really great harmonies as well. Joanne is obviously passing on the tradition of music in her family, because one of her children, her son Shane, see on the stage right now? Yep, here's Shane. And he's performing throughout the night as well, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Shane a bit later in the program. Well, this just about concludes the first half of the Benoit Family show, and I just want to let you know that some members of the family, being Dougie, his dad Mattis, his son Devin, up here on the left set of drums, and his nephew Shane, the 4 of them have just released a new album, and it's called Le Flynn. Am I pronouncing that right? A little bit close or
Le
no?
Flynn. It's called The Flower.
The Flower, okay. Le Flynn, very nice. And so they've just released a CD. They're going to be on sale out in the lobby area tonight during break. So a lot of the tunes that you're hearing here tonight are also on that CD. So certainly a great one to pick up for either yourself or even a Christmas gift. Christmas not far around the corner, so certainly a good idea for that. Let's see now. One more time to bring us to break, we're going to hear from the Benoit Family with a number called Arsenault's Jig, and starting them off will be Madison Edna, affectionately known to most people as Papa and Mama. Ladies and gentlemen, Madis, Edna, and the Benoit Family.
Well, that kicks on the kickstart.
A beer, no?
I've got a beer. Maybe too many beers will happen. Well, in this segment of the show,
Catch my breath for a second. Hard work, you know. I figured I was 20, but I'm not. I guess I was the guy who was eating the fish and all that, drinking all that liquor and all that stuff, right? So Diane was talking about me. This segment of the show is dedicated to late Ivan White, which was a good friend of ours, actually a family member. He was good friends with Robert. He was my mentor for fiddling, and he's probably the reason why I'm playing fiddle today. Being the youngest of the family of the Benoits I got a lot of shoes to fill. And a lot of competition in the family, but, you know, I'm still the cutest. I'll suffer for that later. But no, I can remember when I was just young, very, very young. I was 13 years old, and I started playing fiddle when I was 14. And Ivan came over. Himself and Robert was always at the house. And this one time he had brought an album of Jerry Holland, which he's late Jerry Holland, he passed away too. And so anyway, the music that they were playing from Cape Breton was, you know, none of you just can't explain what the sound of the fiddle was like. And so I was really intrigued by the fiddle and the sound of music that Ivan used to present on his fiddle. So when we dedicated this show, myself and Robert was talking about probably over a year, I guess, to you know what should we do, or what kind of presents should we have, or how many people should we have in the show. So we figured, let's take them all. Let's do all our family, and because we do, like you say, this is the first time of us being on stage at one time, which is was a tribute to myself, but even my parents. It's a pretty highlight of the night for them to have all their sons and daughters and stuff on stage. But with the show, to have Ivan is, as I say, one of our mentors and a good friend, good family member. We do have his wife is in the audience, and we'd like to present her with a little gift. And if she wouldn't mind coming up on stage. And this, not only for a gift for myself, is all from the friends and family of the Benoits. You remember those horses one time? Yeah. I'm not a horse, by the way. Stop laughing. You said something was fat a little while ago? Stop it. Anyway, we're going to go to the next tune now. It's called, actually, he's another great friend of ours. He's the late Walter White. Was a great friend of my dad's. And, of course, he played his music at the house. And we had lots of house parties. And as long as I can remember, even walking, like, the music at our house was unbelievable. Like, we even had, like, John White and Harry Hibbs and like, all these people at the house. You meet a lot of people through music. Friends and even people that don't even play. You get to meet a lot of people. So anyway, our next song is going to be, or the waltz is going to be Walter White's Waltz.
Of Lou Flynn, the beautiful West Coast that is, eh? Oh my gosh, me, I'm too excited to be here tonight for the Benoit Family show. Aren't they wonderful? What do you think? My heart is racing, eh? Oh. Anyway, you know, my gosh, I find this all too nice, you know. Hearing the good traditional music and all that kind of stuff there, right? And all the family getting together on the stage for the very first time is friggin' wicked. Wicked. And see, you don't only get the music and the singing and all that, like all the different instruments, the guitars and the fiddles and the accordion and the banjo. You also get the step dancing. Me, I love the step dancing, right? See, one time there, I was going to learn how to step dance, eh? Me, I bought one of them there videos what you learn how to step dance, eh? I was like I had 3 left feet, though. Oh, me, I didn't do very good, eh? But you know now, step dancing there, it got to be awful good exercise too, wouldn't you think, eh? You fellas, you must think it's good exercise, right? Yep. Holy sweet honorable. Because you know, when you see them going, it's not fit, it's like a full friggin' workout there, right? Or it would be for me anyway, I know that, eh? But you know, I see them step dancing me, I'm dying to be able to do it, but no sir, right? And when I look there, right? Because Dougie's around here all the time, and you see them sometimes at shows and stuff. Me, I see them step dancing. My heart melts there, right? Oh, it just melts, Dougie, it melts, God bless your heart. And you know it now keeps them right slim, eh? Them too, eh? Slim as a friggin' pencil there, right?
that's a compliment, eh? Me, I wouldn't mind being slim as a pencil, I'd be alright. But you know, talking about that subject, you know, it's kind of a touchy subject there, right? Well, a few years ago, me, I decided I was going to try and do something about my figure there, right? So I went to an aerobics class, eh? But my gosh, me, I hadn't exercised in a long, long time there, right? It was kind of hard on me, eh? Well, dear God, me, I bent and twisted and gyrated and jumped up and down and everything. I sweat bullets for an hour. By the time I got my leotard on, the class was over. I gave up on that. Forget it. I'm gonna be like Buddy, that girl talked about earlier, right? Smoke, eat, and drink and all that, have fun, right? That's more like it, right? But anyway, you know, this evening, I was there at the house, trying to get ready for the night, eh? I was so excited about coming to the show, seeing all the fellas here tonight, the mama and the papa, and all of the youngsters there, right? And having their CD coming out and all that kind of stuff, made me up too excited, trying to pick out my most favoriteest outfit there, right? Do you like it? How about you? Like it? Thumbs up from the men. Oh, a lot is pretty good. Anyway, I was trying to get ready, and the phone, it wouldn't stop ringing there, right? I don't know about you people, but do you ever find, like, right around supper time there, right? The calls comes from, like, them organizations and stuff like that from God knows where in the world, eh? Call and ask for donations and things, eh? Anyway, sometimes they're looking for money, sometimes they're not, eh? This evening, they called me. They was asking me, like, for a donation, wanted me to donate some of my old clothes there, right? To the starving people of the world, eh? I was fed up, me trying to get ready and everything, eh? Busy as could be, eh? Finally, I said to them, I said, look here, buzz off and don't be calling me anymore, right? I said, because I finally realized that if those people fits into my clothes, they're certainly not starving. Now then, what do you think of the nice weather we had this summer? Holy Moses, you couldn't beat it, could you? I mean, there was people swimming up at Black Bank in June there, right? And I mean, tonight is probably, what, 30 degrees? Oh, I'm not sure, but you know. And this is the 27th of October. You can't beat that, eh? Only thing is, sometimes I find, sometimes we get a bit of wind around here, right? We're after having a couple of kind of big windstorms. And yeah, I know I got no apples left on my tree, they're all on the ground. But anyway, the thing is that Newfoundlanders, I find, they kind of handles pretty much everything, including the weather, like with a pretty good sense of humor there, right? Like Mattis there, he was telling me, remember this Mattis, my gosh, Mattis was telling me, this fella he knows there out in Black Duck Brook, eh? He got ends, Mattis, remember that fellow? Right? He got laying hens and stuff, you know, so he sells the eggs and all that, eh? Anyway, Mattis ran into him the other day after we had this real strong wind, eh? And Buddy, he said to Mattis, he said, my God, Mattis, dirty, dirty wind we had last night, you find that? He said, the wind, it was wicked, wicked. He said, do you know that one of my hens was sitting back onto the wind? She laid the same egg 3 times. Now, you know you wouldn't want to be eating that egg, now, would you? Now, you know, Madison and Edna here, they got 8 youngsters, 8 beautiful youngsters, I got to say that, It's too nice, this nice family, But when you look at it, I mean, my gosh, nobody has 8 youngsters anymore, They wouldn't be able to handle it these days. And you know, I think, and I'm sure there's lots of parents here in the audience tonight, I think when you ask your first youngster there, you treat it, you know, or you react kind of differently, I'll say, than when you have your second one or your third one or whatever. Do you agree with me? You don't act the same as when you had your first one, right? Like me, for example, there, right? When I had my first youngster, right? If the pacifier happened to fall on the floor there, right? I'd pick it up, I had to go boil the kettle and everything, clean it off with the scalding hot water and all that kind of stuff, before I give it back to the baby there, right? Now with the second one, if the pacifier fall on the floor, right? Me, I'd pick it up and I'd clean it off my apron, and put it back in his milk. With the third youngster, if the pacifier fell on the floor, right? Me, I'd pick it up, I'd put it in my own mouth and lick it clean. And now with the fourth youngster, if the pacifier happens to fall on the floor, me, I lets the dog lick it clean. Now, you know, tonight this is like a real old Newfoundland kitchen party, eh? Now that's what I love, say. Good music, good friends, family, and of course, you know, like a few drinks or beers and stuff like that, that don't hurt either there, right? And you know, talking about beer, right? My friend, her and her husband, they was down to the grocery store the other day, eh? And they were going around the grocery store with their cart, eh? Next thing he spied the beer there, right? So he picked up a dozen of beer and he put it into the cart. And her, she looked at me and she said, now what do you think you're doing? We're not here to be buying beer, we're here for groceries, eh? He said, no, but look, he said, it's on sale there, right? Only $10 for 12 cans of beer, right? She said, I don't care how much it costs, put it back, eh? We're not here for beer, we're here for groceries. This is grocery day, eh? Well, Innie wasn't very happy, eh? But he took the beer out and he put it back. So they were going on around the store, right? Next thing they came to the aisle, like with all the toiletries there, right? The shampoos and soap and all that kind of stuff, eh? And she picked up this nice jar of face cream, eh? And put it in the cart. And it cost $20, eh? He looked at her and he said, now, what do you think you're doing? She said, no, that's different. She said, you know, like, that's my face cream there. Makes me look beautiful, eh? He said, yeah? Well, so does 12 cans of beer. There's only half the friggin' price. Oh, that's shocking. Yeah, I know I wouldn't have given that a smack there, right? Oh. See, she was trying to be sensible and spend the grocery money on groceries, eh? Because, you know, she's probably the one, like everybody, we all got to do it, you know. Try and plan, you know, financially for our future, right? And I think in most households, that's left up to the woman. Nothing against the men, but there's a lot of women what takes care of it, eh? Because I know one thing, I know there's an awful lot of men, eh? Whose idea of planning for the future is buying 2 cases of beer instead of 1. That's probably you, Laris, eh? Is that it? It is probably you. I figured that out. Now, you know, just this past week, my husband, he was over in Nova Scotia on a deer hunting trip, eh? Him and one of his buddies. Now, God love, I'm not going to say who the other fella is, eh? Some of you might know him. And he's not exactly the swiftest thing going, that's all I'll say, eh? He is from around here, right? Anyway, they went over to Nova Scotia. My husband, he's been hunting, I guess, for years and years now, eh? But his buddy's only been at it like a couple of years there, right? So the first morning, Buddy might have snoozing her off, slept in late and everything, eh? Not my husband, he was up bright and early and gone out in the woods to get his deer, right? Only a couple of hours he was gone, eh? Back my son with a dirty big deer, eh? His buddy, he couldn't get over it, he was right impressed, eh? He said, my gosh, how in the world you managed that now, eh? My husband said, nothing to it, eh? He said, I got up bright and early there, eh? Yeah, I went out, eh? I found the tracks there, eh? I followed the tracks, eh? And bam, shot me a nice big deer, eh? Well, buddy said, my gosh, imagine he only a couple hours gone. That's pretty freaking good, eh? So the next morning now, Buddy decides he's going to go do the same thing there, right? He got up nice and early, eh? But he was gone all day. 5 o'clock came, he wasn't back. 6 o'clock came, he wasn't back. Almost 7 o'clock before he came back to the camp, eh? He opened the door, my God, he could barely get in, eh? He walked in, he was all beat up, eh? All cut up and bruised up from head to toe, eh? The hunting jacket all sliced up, great big cut down his arm, only one boot on, eh? What a state he was in. My husband, he said to him, merciful, honorable God, what happened to you? What'd you do anyway? He said, me, I only did the same thing as you, eh? Me, I went out there, right? I found the tracks, eh? I followed the tracks. Bam! Got hit by a train! Oh my good God. Now that's too strong to be carrying a gun. That should not be carrying a gun. It's not safe there, right? Oh. Anyway, I know, like my husband, he's in the audience here tonight. He was so glad to get back from that hunting trip, eh? Make sure he get here for the Benoits tonight there, right? Because he loves them too, I can guarantee you. He loves to hear them playing, eh? And you know, he loves the storytelling and that kind of stuff, eh? And you hear some scattered joke from the boys and all that kind of thing, eh? And Bonnie Lou there, right? Bonnie is quite the storyteller too, eh, Bonnie? I've heard so anyway. I mean, you know, I heard a few things about you there, right? But anyway, Bonnie was talking to me one day. I was saying about what high winds we get here sometimes. She was saying, Hazel, for gosh sakes, don't be complaining about a few little winds we get around here, right? She said, my God, look it down in the States, you know, where they get like the big hurricanes and tornadoes and salamis and all that kind of stuff there, right? Bonnie was telling me there, right? She was watching the American news one evening, and there was this great big tornado had hit down in some place in the state somewhere, one state, So the fella who was on the news there, he was interviewing this fella, this old farmer guy, and his farm had been hit there by the tornado pretty bad, So the interviewer, he said to the farmer, he said, my God, he said, you know, sir, he said, you got to tell me, like, did you lose much, you know, in the tornado? The old fella said, well, actually, you know, I did. He said, I lost my real big hen house there, I lost all of my chickens. But I can't complain, I suppose. I did end up with 3 new cows in a pickup truck. Anyway, me, I got to be going now. But I hope you'll all sit back, get right into the tunes now of the Benoit family, because they've got some wicked stuff coming this way for you yet. So this is Hazel Ammer, Ed saying good night, and God bless. Enjoy the show.
What do you think of Hazel? Okay, our feature song now is going to be sung by Richard. And this song is tougher than the rest.
And it's a request
For Caroline.
Caroline, okay.
I know you're there somewhere.
Well, it's Saturday night. You're all dressed up in blue. I've been watching you a while. Maybe you're watching me too. Well, somebody ran out, left someone's
Good job there, Richard. I think Richard wrote that song too, eh?
Yeah, I did one time and I forgot the lyrics, so I kind of give it up.
Okay, this next set of tunes is going to be done by the young gentlemen, the young lads, Shane and Devin, and of course it's going to be featured with his uncle Robert. The next sets of tunes is written, of course, by Devin and Shane, and it was recorded on our new released album. One is called Jackson's Reel, and the other one is called Gordy's Jig. And the next following tune after that would be written by Robert, and it's Timmy and Felix Torrent Jig.
Actually, the CD is a million seller. They got 1 million copies home in their cellar. That was Dougie's daughter, Shalina.
Okay, that's
Benoit.
Shalina. Great job, Shalina.
Good job, my girl.
We forgot to add it to the list. One of the most important people, but my daughter, Shalina.
Great job, Shalina.
And you forget to add Beard to the list, too.
And a little bit earlier on, we had some great music there from all the guys featuring grandson of Mama and Papa, Shane Blanchard. And Shane is also the son, as I mentioned, of Joanne and Danny Blanchard. Shane lives in Colebrook with his fiancée Nancy and his son Jackson. Shane plays bass and has taken to guitar as well recently. The tune you just heard him play was an original called Jackson's Reel. And another grandson is Devin Benoit, who was also featured in that last selection. Devin, as I mentioned, is Doug's son. He lives in Stephenville with his girlfriend Beth, and they have a son, Gordy. Devin plays drums and guitar. You just heard his original picked on guitar, a tune he called Gordy's Jig. So certainly some fine talent throughout this entire family. Right now, we're going to hear from Bonnie Lou once again. This time, she's going to do a real nice Ricky Skaggs number for us, a little something called Home. Bonnie Lou Flynn.
I've seen
believe we're going to have another number from Laris now, are we?
Yes, why?
Yes, why? Did you know that, Laris?
When did this happen?
A little birdie told me you might do another one. I think Laris is up for it. What do you think? I just want to take a minute as well. Dougie, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, no, why? I wouldn't mind.
No, we're coming back to you.
Oh, come back to me?
We're coming back to you.
Okay,
definitely.
I don't mind anything.
I know that Dougie and members of the Benoit family have certainly accomplished a lot when it comes to music, and particularly traditional music in Newfoundland, but they've certainly have had their name spread through many other parts of Newfoundland and Canada and different parts of the country. Dougie, I know that you guys were nominated for a couple of things over the last while.
Yes,
I'd like you to fill the people in on it, because it's really a shame to let that pass.
Yes, we were talking about myself and Diane here just before we started this evening, and just a week ago we had got nominated for Traditional Group of the Year. And we had, of course, we had stiff competition between a lot of people in St. John's, and the Dardanelles had got the award for this year. And of course we were the runners-up, so big nation. And even a few years back, we had open for the Junos in St. John's at the Convention Center, or the Confederation Building. So that was a big step too. Yes, and one more time we got an invitation this year. I'm not really sure is really going to happen yet, but Normandy, France. We're hoping that we're going to get the chance to play the festival there.
I tell you, that's some big accomplishments. There's no doubt about it. So, Laris, we're going to go back to you now. What are you going to do for us now?
I'm going to do a little song that I wrote. A song called Kelly's Mountain. I live in Nova Scotia too. And I recorded on the album with the Carlton Show Band, and it went #1. And tipping.
Kelly was an Irishman, there's no doubt that. His mother's name was Brendan, his father's name was Pat. Then he came from Ireland, but was Lord back home again. Left us Kelly's Mountain to perpetuate the name. Oh, the green of the mountains by the waters of the door. That's it for many, many years, and stand for many more. It was the home of Kelly, beside the waters blue. Because he was so lonely, Kelly made his Irish brew. Could I have backup, please? Do we have a band in the house? Oh, that's okay, but oh well, I can go back to Mississauga tomorrow. I don't care. Now the government is building a causeway over the door. That top of Kelly's Mountain won't make it to the floor. The rocks and gravel are so good and very many too. They're blasting down the mountaintop where Kelly made his brew. Oh, the green of the mountains by the waters of the door. That's it for many, many years, we'll stand for many more. It was the home of Kelly, beside the waters blue. Because he was so lonely, Kelly made his Irish brew. Because he was so lonely, Kelly made his Irish brew. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job, Laris.
Thank you.
And you know, this afternoon when we were kind of cleaning up rehearsal, we had gone down through the list and everything, and Dougie and I were chatting after, and he said, well, we might have a couple extra songs on the end, and I said, are you going to tell me about it now? And he's like, well, no, you know, I mean, if we do, we do, kind of. So I wonder now, is Bonnie singing anymore?
Not right yet, but you never know.
But the problem with us, we've got a good memory, but a
He
short.
said, well, this is like a kitchen party, so if she sings, she sings, if she doesn't, she doesn't.
Yeah, they put me in a loop because they started off on a different note and I was completely lost.
Oh, that's okay.
So what do we got on now?
Okay, the next set of tunes that we're going to play here now.
I'm going to send them over
play
to
a couple of French traditional reels.
This is
And
not the end, though, is it?
it's not the end. It probably might never be the end. We'll just keep playing.
4 o'clock.
Thank
though, hey? What do you got for us now, Dougie?
Well, this is probably the last tune of the set of the night. Before we...
Should I tell a joke?
Okay, tell a joke first.
Eh? You don't mind?
Come on, I love it.
It's only about an hour and a half long. So I can't remember. But anyway, is any lobster fisherman in Stevenville here?
Yeah, she knows her.
One, just one. Oh, jeez. This is going to go over well. Here we go. But anyway, this guy went down to the wharf and he had a lobster on his jacket. And the warden came down. He said, "What do you got on your jacket?" "What jacket?" He said, "On your jacket." He said, "Oh," I said, "Oh shit." He said, "This is my pet lobster." I said, "Pet lobster?" He said, "Don't you know I could give you a very big fine right now?" He said, "Oh my God." He said, "No, this is my pet lobster. I had him since he's a baby. So every couple of days, I take him out to the aquarium and I take him down on the beach." He said, "I let him swim around, and you know, his name is Fred," and he said, "I call him back and we go back home." "Oh yeah," he said, "You want to see?" So anyway, he takes his lobster with the coat, puts him down in the water. He says, "Hang on for a minute. How come your lobster never come back?" He said, "What lobster?" You want to hear another one? This guy went outside one morning and he looked up on his roof. He had what the hell was those monkeys called? No. Yeah, okay, grill, whatever. So anyway, he goes outside and Jesus, he looks up, he got a monkey on his roof. Right, thank you, Robert. Orangutan. So he goes, runs into the house. He said, "Honey," he said, "you know what? There's a orangutan on the roof. How in the hell are we going to get rid of that?" Well, she said, "You know what to do? Call the animal control. They got all kinds of gadgets to get, animals out of trees and stuff." So anyway, he dials a number. So Buddy comes over. He got a truck, ladder, handcuffs, gun, and a pit bull dog. So he's telling the guy, he said, "Oh my God, you got a lot of stuff there, boy." He said, "Yeah." He said, "We need that to take this guy down." He said, "What I'm going to do," he said, "I'm going to put the ladder against the house. I'm going to climb up the ladder." He said, "See this pit bull?" He said, "He's trained to go for the privates." He said, "When I get up on top of the roof, I'm going to take the orangutan," he said, "I'm going to throw him off." He said, "Okay." He said, "Once he hits the ground, the dog goes for the privates." Okay, good enough. But he said, "I need your hand." He said, "I need your help." He said, "Okay, what do you want me to do?" He said, "Just stand there in the bottom of the ground." He said, so he started climbing up the ladder. So halfway up the ladder, the guy on the ground yells up, he said, "What's the gun for?" He said, "Well," he said, "if I gets on the roof, he throws me off, shoot the dog."
I just had to ask you too. The young fellow was dancing with Brandy earlier. Is that your son?
Yes, my son Jacob.
Jacob. Good job, Jacob and Brandy. And we have another addition towards the end too, down by Jacob. Who's that now? I gotta find
That's my sister Dale.
Yes, Dale. Hello,
Yes.
Dale. We're down in the audience. Okay, wonderful. Anyway,
Yes,
everyone, this just about concludes the Madison Edna Benoit Family Show. And what a show it was tonight. Wouldn't you agree? Unbelievable. It's been a fantastic night of talent and friendship and great family ties seen here on stage. And it's so nice to see how this family is keeping the beautiful sounds of traditional music alive. And it's even better to see how much they enjoy it and how all of you have enjoyed it here tonight as well. I want to say thank you so much to Dougie for asking me to be a part of this special night. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I was dying to dance, but he never asked me. Anyway, he's not even listening. And I really enjoyed meeting all of the rest of the family as well. I want to say congratulations.
congratulations to Mama and Papa Benoit, Edna and Mattis, for passing on such skills and such a great love of music to all of your family. And now we'll ask the group to send us home on a lively note. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Benoit family.
Okay, before we get off to the last tune for the night, we got lots of thank yous to do tonight. All the way from, of course, Ontario, my brother Robert. Okay, on my left-hand side, my brother Lars. From Jacob, Dale, Brandy, Bonnie, my dad, Devin, Roddy, holy moly, Mom, my brother Roddy, my daughter Shalina, Shane, Joanne, and my brother Richard. We'd like to thank Eastlink for doing such a wonderful job to make us look pretty. Of course, they're gonna little, advance it a bit to make us look a lot better than what we do look. I hope so.
Speak for yourself.
All right. Yeah, but I didn't see me. And also Diane Doyle, that of course did a wonderful job. And of course, we can't forget about Hazel. She was one of the top stealers of the show tonight too, right? So. Significant others, we can't forget about our wives and our families and friends. Of course, my wife has been one of the leaders behind the show, and of course, all the shows that we're after doing. All the pamphlets and stuff that you guys see tonight, she did them all, and she just keeps us going to all like the.
We love you, Kim.
Anytime that we need any information and stuff, we just go to Kim and she finds some way to get it, and we love her to pieces. To all the Benoits, we'd like to thank everybody here tonight, and God bless everybody. And also we'd like to thank the Arts and Culture Center, Wanda, Mike, Lori, and Fred for doing such a wonderful job tonight. And it's, like I said, it's a pleasure for us to be here, and hopefully we can probably see you guys again next year.
You want to hear a joke? And if you're driving home tonight, don't forget your car.